Last week at the pediatrician's office, I watched a nurse measure my niece 3 times and get 3 different heights. Each time, the numbers jumped around like they were playing hopscotch. And you know what? That mama's instinct that something wasn't right, it was spot on. If you've ever walked out of your baby's checkup wondering if those measurements were actually accurate, you're not alone. And you're probably right to question them. So today, I'm walking you through the 5 measurement errors I see happening in pediatric offices all the time. These 5 crucial checks are the equipment calibration red flags that nobody talks about, the measurement technique mistakes that throw everything off, the charting errors that create false alarms, the questions you need to ask your pediatrician right now, and the record-keeping method that saved my sanity and caught a serious growth issue early. The first thing you should do is check for equipment calibration issues. You know, researchers at the National Institute of Standards found that up to 70% of medical scales in clinics aren't properly calibrated. Let me tell you what happened when I worked with a family whose baby was labeled failure to thrive for 6 months. We discovered their pediatrician scale had been reading 2 pounds heavy the entire time. 2 pounds on a 15-pound baby, that's massive. Here's what you need to look for. Number 1, ask when the scale was last calibrated. If they can't give you a specific date or it's been more than 6 months, that's your first red flag. Number 2, watch if they zero out the scale before weighing your baby. I can't tell you how many times I've seen nurses skip this step when they're rushing. And number 3, check if the scale wobbles or if they're using a baby scale for a toddler who can barely fit on it. Equipment that's wrong for your child's size will give you wrong measurements every single time. Next, you need to spot measurement technique mistakes. A training study from the CDC found that without proper technique, height measurements can vary by up to 1.5 centimeters, just based on how the child is positioned. That's enough to drop your child 2 whole percentile lines on the growth chart. I once watched a medical assistant measure a squirmy toddler while he was wearing thick-soled sneakers and standing on his tiptoes reaching for a toy. That measurement went straight into his medical record. So here's exactly what proper measurement looks like. For babies under 2, they should be lying completely flat on a proper measuring board, not just eyeballed with a tape measure. Their legs need to be gently straightened, and 2 people should be doing it, one holding the head, one positioning the feet. For older children, shoes and hair accessories come off, heels touch the wall, and they look straight ahead, not up or down. If you see anything different, speak up immediately. The third strategy is to identify charting errors that create panic. You won't believe this, but a study in Pediatrics Journal showed that up to 77% of parents misinterpret growth charts, and sometimes it's because the measurements were plotted wrong in the first place. I worked with one mama who spent months worried sick about her daughter's dropping percentiles, until we realized someone had been plotting her measurements on the boys' chart instead of the girls' chart. Watch for these specific charting mistakes. Number 1, make sure they're using the right chart. WHO charts for under 2 years, CDC charts for older kids. Number 2, verify they calculated your baby's exact age correctly. Being off by even 2 weeks can change which percentile line they fall on. Number 3, ask them to show you exactly where they're plotting the point. I've seen dots placed between the wrong grid lines more times than I can count. Now that you understand these errors, the 4th step is knowing exactly what questions to ask. In my Caribbean family, we have a saying, who no ask, no get answer. And when it comes to your baby's growth, you need those answers. After analyzing medical accuracy studies, I've found these questions catch problems before they snowball into unnecessary worry or missed issues. Here's your script for the next appointment. Can you please measure my child twice and show me both numbers? If the measurements are more than half a centimeter different for height or 100 grams for weight, they need to do it again. Next, ask, what percentile was my child at the last 3 visits? This helps you spot real trends versus measurement errors. Then say, can you show me on the chart where you're plotting this? And finally, when was this equipment last calibrated? Write down their answers every single time. Your 5th and most powerful tool is keeping your own accurate records. After working with hundreds of families, I can tell you that the parents who catch growth issues earliest are the ones who track measurements themselves. One mother I worked with noticed her son's head circumference jumped impossibly in 1 month because she kept her own growth chart at home. Turns out, the nurse had measured over his thick, curly hair instead of at the forehead, like she should have. Start your own measurement log today. Get a simple notebook, and after every appointment, write down the date, your child's exact age in months and days, all measurements the doctor gave you, what percentile they said for each measurement, and any concerns you noticed during measuring. Take a photo of the growth chart if they'll let you. Then, at home, you can double-check their math using the CDC's online calculator. This simple practice has helped parents catch everything from thyroid issues to growth hormone deficiencies that might have been missed. I remember when my cousin's baby seemed to stop gaining weight, but every appointment showed slightly different numbers that made it hard to see the pattern. It wasn't until she started bringing her own record and pointing out the inconsistencies that they discovered he had silent reflux affecting his feeding. Once treated, he started thriving again. But here's what breaks my heart. It took 4 months of her speaking up before anyone really listened. The truth is, these measurement errors happen in even the best pediatric offices. Studies show that without proper training and regular practice, healthcare staff can have measurement variations that would change your child's growth category completely. But when you know what to watch for, when you ask the right questions, and when you keep your own records, you become your baby's best advocate. You already have that parent instinct telling you when something's not right. Now you have the knowledge to back it up and the tools to ensure your baby's growth is tracked accurately. Trust yourself, speak up, and remember, nobody knows your baby better than you do. If you want my complete measurement accuracy checklist that you can bring to every appointment, plus my growth tracking template that makes spotting patterns super simple, check out my Growth Confidence Guide. It has everything you need to feel empowered at those checkups, including the exact scripts for talking to your pediatrician and red flags that need immediate attention. Because every baby deserves measurements as accurate as the love you give them.